These books are in a race. Hi, welcome to this video. I have finished reading 35 books out of my 36 book target that I set for this year. So, with my reading goal almost finished, I thought that I should lock in and try to read as many books as possible. But before I do that, I have to read one more book, and that book is going to be the final book that completes my reading goal for the year. So I have some books here. So technically, I have read A Tempest of Tea, and I've also read and finished A Steeping of Blood, and I can't seem to find my copy right now. So this will have to make do. So these two were the 34th and 35th books that I read. So now I cannot decide which book is going to be the next and final book that I pick up for this challenge. So I have here this tiny little book stack that I can hold with one hand. Right. So I've got this book stack, and as you can probably guess by this bookmark that's dangling, I have already started reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry. However, it is October, and I do want to focus a little bit more on some spooky books. So I have here Wishes and Our Hideous Progeny, which are both really good candidates for books I'm thinking of picking up. I don't have Book Lovers on my TBR per se, but I have been reading a nice, cozy, cute rom-com for a really long time. The last time I read a bunch of rom-coms was in March, which was when I was dealing with a medical emergency, a crisis of sorts, and I have had a relapse in that department recently, which is why here we are. And also, I read like two vampire books, and I didn't want to jump into my next spooky book without first changing it up a little, if you know what I mean. So I did start Book Lovers, but I'm only 50 pages in so far. So I could just as easily pick up another book, and maybe if that's more bingeable, or sometimes books just click, right? So if another one of these books just hits, that might end up being my final book. So let me just tell you the last and final option that I have in this book stack, which is Lalan Sweets, which actually is on my October TBR because I wanted to read about something closer to home and closer to myself, because we have Diwali coming up in a couple of weeks, and I've never really read any books by Shrishti Chaudhary before this, and I've been eyeing them for a while, and I just thought that the occasion was perfect. Also, I just noticed this is like a cute little, I know it's probably a Chetak scooter, but I got a Vespa recently. It just reminds me of her. Anyway, random tangent. So yeah, and I got Our Hideous Progeny in June, I think. And I have been itching to read it since then. And this is one book that has been in my cart since like I don't know if it came out in 2020, but probably since it came out, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So I've been itching to read this, and then I have also been itching to read Wishes, because I started Wishes on audiobook last year while I was commuting back and forth from work. But at that point, I was so exhausted from like overworking myself that I wasn't in the right headspace. So I hit pause on this book, and I haven't picked it up since. But I remember that I listened to maybe what 15-20 minutes of the book, and I loved it, and I want to read it. So yeah, these four books, and I legitimately cannot say which book is going to be my final book. So we're going to find that out in this video. So stay tuned as you and I find out together. I did it. I completed my reading goal of 36 books in this year, and it's only mid-October. So, last we checked in a few seconds ago, I did not know which book was gonna be the final book. So now I have an answer, and you guys watching this video have closure. It did actually end up being Book Lovers by Emily Henry. And full disclosure, I was having a particularly difficult flare up with my injury last night, and I basically stayed up the entire night because the circumstances of my injury were not letting me sleep. But I did manage to binge read the entire book, and that is something. So I really enjoyed reading Book Lovers. And just to give you another update on the other books I'm reading my bookmarks falling out. Oh, by the way, look at this bookmark. My friend gifted this to me as a late birthday present, and I have been using it nonstop ever since. Yeah. So I started reading Frankenstein, but I'm actually gonna make notes and like refer to Spark Notes and all of that for this book because I want to read it really thoroughly. And the other books that I'm reading are The Sun Bearer Trials, which is a complete wild card. But I saw this morning that it was on Storytel, and I picked up a crochet project. And I always like to have an audiobook while I crochet, so I'm listening to the audiobook for that, and also Wishes by V. Ishmael. So, yeah, I am reading three books at this time, but the book that finally managed to help me complete my reading goal was Book Lovers. So, that was this little video, that was this little update. I'll see you guys next time.